I don't know you, but for me, Minecraft has been a huge part of my life. I've been playing the game for well over a decade now, and easily have over 10,000 hours in it. And while today most of my time in Minecraft is spent making these videos, it wasn't always like that. My first experience with Minecraft, like many of you, was on a console. You know, the Xbox 360. It was such a simple time for Minecraft back then. There was no wither, there were no coloured beds, and horses weren't even a thing yet, so learning about the game at that stage wasn't all that difficult. You could just go out into your own world, punch a tree, maybe make a pickaxe, mine some stone, and then when night emerges build a small dirt hut and survive. Well, that was the more hands-on experience, but even though it was a simpler time, most of us wouldn't do that, because we had the tutorial worlds to learn from. So join me as today I explore the complete history of Minecraft's tutorial worlds. Released on May 9th, 2012, we received the first tutorial world. You spawned in a small, grassy area confined by tall stone walls. You were given basic instructions on how to play the game, from mining trees to crafting. Within the area there was a chest filled with boats, for you to learn sailing, another chest filled with fishing rods, for you to learn fishing, and there was also a small cobblestone area with a furnace, for you to learn smelting. But by far the most iconic part of the tutorial region was the broken down house that you had the duty to repair. Now, once you had completed the basics, you were granted access through a small, primitive tunnel, opening you up to the wide Minecraft world. Above you was a giant Minecraft sign, and in front of you was a quaint little village. There was also a minecart track leading to a large, stone castle. But there was more to this world than met the eye, for there were secrets. Hiding behind your spawn point there was a second small village, and westward from that there was an ominous lighthouse. This legacy update changed little about the tutorial world, only replacing the old furnace learning station with an area to learn about this new thing called redstone? The spawn location expanded, and an ominous stone structure was added behind. You could explore it and find a full set of iron armour, and then solving a simple puzzle, you could make your way into the nether. But going back to the exit of the tutorial region, you would have been granted access to a brand new village via a minecart track that you likely would have ridden on. There was a stone village floating on a wooden raft. The interiors were nothing spectacular, but seriously, what could we expect from, you know, early Minecraft? A distant village with a flag waving in the sky could also be seen just on the horizon. And there was also this secret tunnel under the village well, holding some golden armour just for you. The nether castle was removed and replaced by a small brick tower, containing an iron pickaxe on the top floor, again, just for you. Now, when you left the tutorial area on this world, you would no longer encounter a village. Rather, you would enter a small stone fort. Now, there were several hidden challenges within this fort, from a secret lava room to chests hiding on the roof to an underground puzzle to even a secret redstone door leading to a nether portal. Leading the fort to the right, you would have been led to a farm. Leaving the fort to the left, you would have been led to a rail track in the desert. The destination? A mini desert temple. Perhaps it was an Easter egg for the addition of the Desert Temple, which would arrive in the console edition in the near future. But then, going straight out of that fort, you would have entered a vast, swampy land, home to two mysterious houses. The tutorial area was simplified. There was still that iconic home to repair, but there was no longer any fishing, nor any boat learning. Also, instead of a tunnel, after completing the tutorial within this world, you would have had to go up a grand stone staircase, and this would have taken you to a small plaza. Upon this plaza there was a blacksmith, and a potion brewing area, and an area for enchanting your items. Turning left from the plaza allowed you to access a farm and a dock. Taking a boat from that dock and following the river, you would have been led to a tower filled with redstone lamps. Returning to the plaza though, you had the option to either go down to a redstone testing area or go up to a fortified village. There was a cannon protecting this village from the side, and steep walls preventing any intruders from entering. The sandstone homes within this village were decorated neatly, with a repeating pattern of red and yellow carpet used. Inside one of the homes, there was a nether portal. Inside another home, there was a lever, which allowed you to access a secret underground tunnel, which led to an overgrown, well, sewage garden? We return to the more basic tutorial setup, with no more fancy staircase. But once you had completed this tutorial, and you entered the world beyond, fireworks would have been released. Such a warm welcome to a pleasant village. Here there were farms, underground redstone areas, an enchanting area, and a beacon to play around with. There was also a long winding path leading to a grand castle. It was packed with detail, and there was lots to explore. From the dining room, to the kitchen, to the bedroom, to more dining areas, to the library, and even to the lookout. Hidden underground the castle there was a maze, where the reward was a nether portal. But this world, unlike the previous ones, had so much more to offer. So you might have gone back to the village, taken a boat, and explored the oceans. You could have found a mushroom island. You might have encountered many desert temples, which back then would have used wool instead of the modern terracotta, and you might have even faced the rival castle. But most notably for many of you, as you sailed across the vast tutorial oceans, you might have encountered a small island, home to a mini replica of Stampede Space, whom, for those of you who don't know, was a very popular YouTuber for the time. Basically everyone knew who he was. This one for me is just for some reason the most memorable tutorial world. Let me know what yours is in the comments though, but for me it's definitely this one. The spawn area was a beautiful set of islands, with a waterfall and yet another small house for you to repair. Completing the tutorial you would have passed through a fancy stone tunnel, and entered into a well-designed fountain area. On your left there were farms, and an area to learn about rails, and an area to learn about blacksmithing. And on your right there were animal pens and a small dock. But heading forward under a stone bridge, there was this semi-modern stone town, complete with a beacon, a giant church, and plenty of small stores for you to check out. And then continuing forward from that town, you would have encountered a golf course. Now, one thing to note is that this was the largest and most detailed tutorial map that we had ever seen. So let's just work our way anti-clockwise across the map and see what we can find. The first major building that we can spot is a large sandstone cathedral, followed by a fortified stone village. In fact, this is the same village from the earlier tutorial world, just now it's in stone. To the north of that there was an ominous mushroom island hiding a nether portal. And to the south of that village there was a snowy lighthouse. Continuing onwards you would have encountered a small theme park in the trees, complete with parkour courses and roller coasters. Next up you would have seen a large manor estate, with its own private maze in its back garden, and right next door was another lighthouse. Behind that you would have stumbled upon the crumbling remains of a grand sandstone cathedral, as well as a small water puzzle. Following on from that, we encounter a small coastal village. And then we encounter a mini desert and badlands area, with what appears to be another set of ruins, this time made from red sandstone. And finally we can arrive at my most memorable part of this map, the Lighthouse Island. I remember all those years ago taking that old Minecraft boat to this island and making this my home. This tutorial world was set in an even nicer start. You were in the middle of this overgrown valley, and there were these beautiful towers surrounding you. It was just a majestic landscape to learn how to play Minecraft. And so once you had completed the tutorial, you would be permitted to go up the stairs, where you would be greeted by the most detailed build to date in any tutorial world. You are surrounded by giant towers with valuable rings attached to them. It seems a bit odd, but it makes sense once you realise that this was the time of the Elytra. This was a map that you were meant to fly across, and there were statues of all the different mobs across the land, from a giant shulker made of stone, to a polar bear made of ice, to a zombie reaching out from a cliff, to a wither getting ready to explode in the jungle, to the iron golem in the valley, to the stone guardian in the ocean, to the villager covered in dirt, and to the pig looming over the land. This was a celebration of the mobs and the great expanse of Minecraft. In this world there were icy kingdoms to explore, overgrown jungles to rummage across, primitive stone forest civilizations to learn about, treacherous valleys to glide through, oceanic cities to dive deep in, hidden nether mountain cores to venture within, desert temple civilizations to hide away from the sun and uncover lost relics, tree towns hidden away in the dense jungle trees, an Easter egg to the great glide games that were in these console editions, rundown watchtowers perched on the tallest mountains, mushroom towns sustained on their own unique islands, a quaint wooden town in an oak forest, and many abandoned towers scattered throughout, from the oceans to the forests. There was a lot to see in this tutorial world. This tutorial world started out on a detailed set of islands, surrounded by towering cliffs and giant stone towers. It was even more detailed and even more majestic than the last world. Now, once you finished the tutorial and crossed the bridge into the full world, you would encounter something that could only be described as nothing less than a grand monument. This was also home to the most detailed Minecraft sign yet. The first area that you would encounter was a small farming section, with a giant diamond pickaxe above. If you kept walking, you would see two giant statues, one of Alex, one of Steve. On their left was a giant elytra, and on their right was a giant trident. The area was sort of set up like a battle arena, as seen in the old minigames from the console editions. But flying beyond this oceanic monument, you would enter a land of giants, huge stone statues of all the mobs scattered the land, from floating dolphins to hidden zombies, to angry evokers, and scattered across the land were large towers with illuminating beacons. The landscape of this world was extravagant, perfect for the explorer to wander around in, from the cliffside towns to the small campsites. The views were incredible no matter where you went. Also, there were some secret Easter eggs for you to find. For instance, part of the old tutorial world was hiding under the icy depths of the new oceans. And that was it. That was the end of the legacy consoles. And so, no more tutorial worlds. But wait, there is still something that you must learn. Steve, he's been here since the very first tutorial world. But he holds a dark, evil secret. His stomach. Yeah, it's all a lie. I know that sounds insane, but seriously, just watch this video and you can learn the secrets of Steve's stomach.